Good morning, good afternoon, good day to everyone watching. This is Kristen Sullivan with the Just As Planned podcast, and I am thrilled today to have Miss Di Hassall. Am I saying your last name correctly, Di?
Just Hassell.
Just Hassall. Okay, no hassle at all.
I hope not.
With an amazing line of wedding products that she is going to share with us today. I have been a huge Instagram fan and follower of you for so long.
Oh, thank you.
Your shoes on vision boards for brides. I'm hoping that they purchase them. I literally just become obsessed with what I love shoes anyway. So thank you so much for being here.
No problem at all. And I think you're either a shoe-a-holic or you're not. You're either one thing or the other. There's nothing in between.
This
And
is sweet.
actually, it's strange. We've had a lot of brides from the States recently. So if that has anything to do with you, thank you so much because obviously it's we're happy to supply brides wherever they are. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I do hope that they are some of our recommendations because I just love them. And so you're based in the UK.
Yeah, so I'm based in the Cotswolds, which is a really pretty sort of traditional English chocolate boxy cottage sort of kind of area. I don't live in a chocolate box cottage. I live in a Victorian house, but it's still lovely. But yeah, it's really, really beautiful area, lovely countryside. It's a very nice place to be based. But we're quite accessible for London's about an hour and a half away. Birmingham's not far. It's a nice area to be based in, and it's a good area to work from as well.
That is lovely. That's lovely. Yeah, I have obviously not been over your way in quite some time, but it's on my bucket list to get back to the UK and do some traveling and meet all of these amazing people that I feel like I've connected with online in the last couple of years.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Well, you must let me know if you do come, and we'll meet up.
I sure will. I sure will. And how many years have you been designing and creating these beautiful pieces of art behind you?
Oh, forever. So I started when I went to uni. I did fashion and textiles, but I was always obsessed with shoes. Even from a little girl, I was obsessed with shoes. My family would tell you. So when I did my degree in, as I say, fashion and textiles, I based all my projects and so on towards shoes and bags and accessories. Really, it was always the fashion more than the interiors for me. And when I left college, I got a degree in fashion and textiles, and then I did a business course for a little while. Again, sort of, all based around a shoe business. And yeah, I've been over 30 years now. So I had my own business for a long time, and then when I had my son and life changed a bit, I then went and worked in industry, and I was head of design for a much bigger company making manufactured wedding shoes, which is still lovely. It's still a really lovely industry to be in. But I just got to the point a few years ago where I just wanted to be more creative again. I think when you're in a big business like that, it's a bit like designing with one hand tied behind your back because you start off with this lovely vision of how a shoe is going to turn out, and then by the time everything's been stripped away that makes the shoe cost too much money, then it ends up a completely different product. So I think it was about 5 years ago. I sat down with my husband, and I was getting more and more fed up really at work, and he said, well, why don't you do it on your own again? And for a little while I took some time out and thought, well, can I do it? Can I still do it after all these years on my own? Is it, is it going to be a viable business? And yeah, I couldn't think of what else I would do. It's just part of my DNA now. I absolutely love it. And although I've designed shoes that are non-bridal as well, it's the bridal stuff that really makes me tick. And talking to brides, yourself, talking to brides and hearing their stories and their vision and all about, how they're imagining everything's going to be on the big day it's just such a special thing to be a part of, even in a tiny little way. Even making their shoes, is it's a lovely thing to do. So yeah, a very long time, but still love it every day. So I feel very lucky, really.
Oh, that's such a great story. Yes, you can tell obviously you're very passionate about it too, which is so nice to be able to do what you love every day and to make a difference on someone's very important day in their lives, which I love. And shoes are a big part. And like you said earlier, you're either a shoe-aholic or not. But on wedding day, everyone wants to look their absolute best and feel so special. It's that Cinderella moment for them.
Absolutely.
I know that, you know, a lot of times now the girls are changing dresses again, but consistently wearing the same shoes, especially if there's something very special that they want to show off. A lot of times the big gowns, you don't see the shoes until they change into the second kind of short
No.
dress, maybe.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, the thing I really like to do is, I mean, you know, some of my shoes are very overtly bridal and you can tell they're a wedding shoe through and through. But there are other styles which I think you could wear again, or we can perhaps adapt them in some little way afterwards, you know, change the ribbon to suede ties or something, you know, just change something about them that makes them look slightly less bridal, which means they can wear them again. Because if they're going to invest in a really beautiful pair of shoes that are really comfortable, because that's a big, you know, it's a big thing for me, that the shoes have to be well made and comfortable, and they can stand in them all day and you know, feel like they're wearing slippers, because obviously that's the last thing you want to worry about on your wedding day, isn't it? But you know, I love to think that my brides are going to wear their shoes again, and you know, that's a conversation we have all the time. You know, well, if you change this, or if you swap to this afterwards, then very much you can wear them with your skinny jeans or whatever you like, you know.
Yeah, it's so true. I always let them know, you know, save them and make sure you're wearing them on special occasions, but for sure, like on your anniversary. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I love, I have in one of my tips that they need to start wearing their shoes a couple of times around the house before the wedding, not outside because you don't want them to get, you know, messed up or dirty, but to just please walk around the house with them and for like 15 minutes every week before the wedding so that they're not um, feeling anything different on wedding day. Like you said, the last thing we want them to do is have uncomfortable situation, but I know you put a lot of love and energy into your creations and that they're comfortable, which is a whole concept, right? Most shoes when we first get them are not.
Absolutely. But do you know what? You're so right to give them that advice. I give them the same advice, really, just so that they're confident, and then they're not thinking, oh, I've got my wedding shoes on, am I going to be okay? Or, you know, that they're just, they feel fine in them because they know they wore them the other day and that was absolutely fine. I always say, don't go to the supermarket in them, just wear them at home. But you know, don't go off for a trot outside in them, but make sure you wear them a little, just so that you feel completely confident. And you know, if there's anything, you know, we need to change slightly, then we can still do that, you know, if we need to put another hole in the strap or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's all important. The look is the big thing, but the comfort is massive too.
Yeah, I agree. And do you take, is every order custom or basically
No,
they can
no.
order and then,
Yeah, not every order. I mean, we have a core collection that's on the website and so on. And obviously brides, lots of brides just order direct from that. And we also have a few stockists that we sell to a few shops around the place. And they obviously have like a core collection. But they all know, the stockists as well, that they can call me and say, you know, this bride's getting married in pink and she wants all the flowers in pink. Is that possible? Or this bride wants no pearls, or, you know, whatever it may be. So there is a lot of customization, but it's not every bride. And I mean, when I get an order through the website, I always email them straight away and say, thanks for your order. There are these options as well if there's anything you'd like to change. But a lot of them, they just want to go with exactly what they've seen, because they, you know, they've seen a picture on Instagram, they've fallen in love with it, and they send me the picture and say, I want this, you know.
don't change
Which
a
I
thing.
totally get. I would be the same, I'm sure, because then, you know exactly what you're getting. But then, you know, have other brides have just made a really beautiful pair for a bride in Australia. She was a British girl who lives out there, and she also found me on Instagram. And her wedding is going to be on the beach in Australia. It's going to be quite hot. Her fiance is wearing a lovely pale blue linen suit, and she wanted to have her something blue, which is a lovely tradition, as her shoes. but she also wanted some ivory on them as well. And we actually made them in, we sort of matched more or less the colour of his suit. So the shoes are made in the blue suede, and then she's just got little ivory flowers over the top as well. And then we dyed some silk ribbons to tie around her ankles. And they look absolutely adorable. And we've got some little tiny pale blue diamantes in there just for a bit of blue sparkle. And you know, yeah, things like that for me, that's really lovely to do, because that's, you know, outside of the norm, as it were, you know. And it took a lot of emails and a lot of chats and so on to get to the final decision and so on. But yeah, she's absolutely thrilled with them, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to see them on Instagram. I'll be watching for them now.
I'm waiting till after her wedding, because
yeah, I figured you would.
yeah, I don't like to share anything, because obviously, you know, I don't want her friends to see them and go, oh, they're your shoes. So, you know,
Yeah.
she might have hinted. So yeah, I'm waiting till, so that they'll be out in the summer. They will be popping up, because they are a lovely shoe.
That's so nice. I often think that shoes would be such a great gift to give your bridesmaids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever have that order, but it's definitely something that is unique, and you know, you want everyone to look nice. And I know people are wearing different dresses nowadays where they're not all the same, but it would be so fun to gift your shoes to the whole bridal party.
Oh, I mean, that would be lovely. And what I have had is, I've had a few fiancés have contacted me and said, I'd like to buy my future wife shoes. I'm like,
I
oh,
love that.
he's a good one, you know.
He's a good one. He's a keeper.
So I've had that quite a few times, which is really nice. And sometimes you just get the order through the website, and you know, the girl's name will be on there for delivery, but the order will come through in someone else's name. And I always think, is that the dad or the fiance?
Oh, I love that. That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
And do you ever have where people want something that that's not in your collection? So if they come to you with something kind of wild idea, and I know you're a designer and a creator, are you always open to that, or you're like, well, let's see? Or
I'm kind of open to most things, but I'm always realistic about what I can do and what I can't do.
Yeah.
And you know, if they say, you know, I want 6-inch heels or whatever, and I say, I'm really sorry, I just don't do that, you know, I stop at 4 inches, or you know, and I'll chat them through the options, and 9 times out of 10 we can come to an agreement that they're happy with. But if they're not, and it's something I really don't do, I'll always try and, you know, suggest somebody else, because obviously you want them to get their dream shoes.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm realistic, but I'm, you know, I'm on their side. I'd like to do as close to what they want as I can. I mean, I've had some really strange requests over the years. Not so much recently, but I had a girl who she wanted to have her cats involved on her wedding day, but not actually at the wedding. So we had to embroider a little picture of her cats on the back of her heels.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting. And the names as well. In fact, it stuck with me forever, because the cats were called Leo and Fancy, and I can still remember all these years on.
Oh my goodness, that is so, I mean, I'm a dog lover, but I don't know that I would put him on my shoes, but that is so interesting. I love it.
Yeah, you do get asked a few strange things, but not often, you know. More often than not, as I say, it's, you know, the dream picture on Instagram or on the website. Or what I do get a lot is a lot of brides saying, I really love this shoe and this shoe, I can't make my mind up. And it might be that the style of one is completely different to the other, but it's the embellishment or the embroidery that they're in love with on that shoe. So, you know, if we dig a little bit and have a chat, then I can normally say, well, actually, if it's the embroidery from this one, I can do that on that. And they're like, oh, amazing, you know, and then you are creating their dream shoe for them, really.
Oh, I love that. Can you share a little few of them that are behind you? They're just
Sure. So these are some of the sort of more popular ones at the moment. The pearly ones, which sort of pearl encrusted. In fact, this one came about because I had this mule and the bride that saw it said, "Oh, I really love it, but I can't wear a mule." She had a problem with her ankle. But I can wear a sandal, a peep toe. So, you know, that's how this one came about. And then when I made it, I thought it's so lovely. We're going to make it as a, you know, as part of the collection. And this one, this is a new style called, this is called Marry Me. So this is in a lovely blush coloured suede, and it's got this beautiful embroidery on the front and on the heel, and then this sort of elegant, you know, cutaway shape on the inside.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, and you know, I think a shoe like this in this blush colour, you could absolutely wear again. You know,
Oh, for
there's
sure, for sure.
no reason whatsoever why you couldn't. This is Morella. This is my most popular shoe, and a low-heeled version of it as well, which we do, which ties at the front, and it comes with these lovely organza ribbons, which tie up around the ankle, or you can have it with a strap. If you're not the kind of girl that likes the ties, we're more than happy to make it with a little suede strap. And it's got these lovely sort of, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's got
No, yeah, gorgeous.
little flowers and pearls and crystals and everything on the heel and on the front as well. But that's the shoe that really started things rolling for me when I started my business again. It was, you know, it was sort of trickling along nicely to start off with, and then when I started sharing that shoe, I just had so many brides were just like, "Oh, I love it, I love it. Can you, you know."
So pretty, so pretty, and still selling it, which is amazing, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And then we get ones like this little black mule. Every so often we get somebody. I had a bride came to see me last week who's wearing an absolutely stunning couture, like a cream sort of zibeline dress, very 1950s, very Grace Kelly, so elegant. And she said, "I want these with it." And I said, "Actually, I think they look stunning." You know, her bridesmaids, I think, are wearing cream with black ribbons on, so it's a very monochrome wedding. But you know, I think it will look absolutely stunning.
I love it.
What else have I got I can share with you? This is quite a popular sort of look as well, with the embroidery and the little sort of diamantes and a bit of sparkle and so on. That's a really pretty little shoe as
pretty.
well.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love them all. I would have every pair if I was a bride. I guess I don't have to be a bride. I can still wear them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, I've some of the shoes I've got made in blue or black or olive green, or you know, we do other colors as well. In fact, this embroidery, the floral one, that looks really lovely on the olive green suede. And you know, that's just a lovely anytime shoe, really. It's obviously it's still a special shoe, but you can wear it anywhere. So don't be afraid to ask. We also do quite a few for mother of the bride and groom as well. I'm just making a pair at the moment, actually, for a mum who has been umming and ahhing, and she's wearing sort of nude pastel shades and so on, but it's quite a simple outfit. And she said, "Oh, I just want the shoes to be a bit more special." So we've done them in a sort of antique rose lace covering and so on. So yeah, they'll be lovely, I think. Yeah.
So nice. If someone, and we'll have shared in all of the podcast information how to contact you, reach out to you, follow you on Instagram. But if they wanted to place an order, see if you have it in stock, you would then ship it out. But if a custom order is wanting to be made, what do you talk with them about timing? How far do they need to order in advance?
Okay, I mean, I normally say if they can allow 6 to 8 weeks, ideally 8. We actually make our shoes out in Portugal. To be honest, in the UK, there's just no shoe manufacturing anymore, so there are no components. You know, you can't really get hold of heels and soles and the correct leathers and all the rest of it. So we moved everything out to Portugal, and we make in a lovely little artisan factory out there, which is fantastic for quality. Quality is wonderful. And then when they come in, we do the embellishment. Most of it we do afterwards. Not everything. Some of it's done over there, but well, done here, sent there, made as part of the shoe, and then sent back, as it were. So I tend to do, you know, quite a sort of bulk, several pairs at a time if I can, because obviously shipping backwards and forwards is time consuming and expensive and all the rest of it. So yeah, I normally say about 8 weeks.
Okay.
It may be that it's something which I have in stock, in which
Mhm.
case it's fine. But if it's something more bespoke, or if it's something that, you know, is a lot of detail, like, you know, the Morella with all the florals on, we actually embellish those to order. We do keep, you know, 1 or 2 pairs in stock, but I tend to do them to order because a lot of girls will say, oh, I don't want the diamante, or I want all diamante, I don't want the pearls. And then if you've got one sitting there which is incorrect, it's just really frustrating. So so yeah, I tend to do most things to order, really. If it's a particular rush, as long as they tell me and they say, you know, I'm getting married in a month's time, I'll always be totally honest and, you know, look into it straight away and say, yep, we can do that. And obviously for the States, we have to allow a week or so to get them over. But it's not normally an issue. Most brides are so well organized and, you know, have done everything so well in advance that it's not a problem. But if it is, then, you know, we'll always try and help.
Yeah. Yes, I know shipping here in the US has been a nightmare recently, but more not from someone shipping it, it's getting here and then having it sit. So making
Yeah,
sure we're sharing that people want to order well in advance, just like their dress and other
yeah,
items.
yeah. We've had the same issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
with shipping, we're just allowing longer, basically, just to be on the safe side.
And you also make accessories, and I saw some beautiful little decor pieces that you make that look like lovely gifts.
Yeah, just you know, sometimes just nice to do something a little bit different. And I mean, that, to be honest, that started during all the lockdowns in COVID, because I couldn't just sit and not do anything. And whilst I had the sort of, you know, the back end of the business to run with the marketing and, you know yourself, the website, Instagram, everything, none of that stopped. And it was important for it not to stop. And I was still chatting to brides who'd perhaps cancelled their orders or, you know, postponed them, and saying, you know, any idea when it's going to happen, or is it still happening, or whatever. So there was plenty to do, but I just needed to do something creative. So I started making some decorative collars and some other little bits and pieces. And you know, I have a couple of people that sew for me, basically do embroidery and beading and things, and it's keeping them busy too. You know, it was such a difficult time for everybody, and I think doing something creative, it's a good way to pass the time and to feel like you're being useful, and you know, just to make something creative is always going to make you feel better, isn't it? So
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. With all the weddings kind of stopped, I had envisioned that, 10 years from now, I would have a little retail line. And well, that moved up in the timeline, given I was sitting at home twiddling my thumbs and going crazy. So I did the same thing. I started, created a journal, created a card deck, and a bag that I sell to other planners, an emergency kit you actually wear. So, and people have always asked me about putting little flowers and decor on them. And I obviously don't sell it that way because that is not my specialty. Um,
yeah,
but everyone loves to have little special details on all of their things. I know that's how I started following you, because I would see all these beautiful flowers and designs and details. And you can have the simplest of a dress, and then these amazing shoes just pop.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's really nice.
I love it when I recently had a girl that came to me and was asking about different shoes, and I said to her, well, what's your dress like? And she said, oh no, I'm choosing my shoes first.
I
And I
love
thought, you are my kind of bride.
it. You came to the right place. Oh, that's so fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
great, Di. I really love your products and I love following you. And I thank you for
Oh,
your time
thank you.
today. Is there anything, do you have a favorite pair of shoes? I mean, I can't imagine how I would choose one pair, but is there anything that's your favorite?
But you know, I change my mind all the time because, you know, when you make something new, I have a new favorite. So I'll show you two. So at the
Okay.
moment, these are my new favorites. This is a mule with this lovely embroidery on, and really, I think it's my favorite because I would wear it with my
Yeah.
my jeans or whatever, you know. And I'm going to make myself a pair in black, but with the embroidery in the cream. So that's a favorite for one reason. But I'm going to jump up 1 second.
Okay.
and sorry about that. I think this is one of my other favorites.
Oh,
You've probably seen it. It's been on Instagram, you know,
that
quite a
is
few times. But
gorgeous.
I love a feather fringe. You know, it's not something I'm likely to be seen wearing anytime soon, sadly. It's not really my life. But you know, I absolutely love it. I have debated about making myself a pair in black.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun with a bit of sparkle as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I think that
It would be so fun to be like, well, I'd like a new pair of shoes. I don't find anything I like, so I guess I'll just make it.
Do you know what though? I mean, it's ridiculous, really. I never seem to find the time. I'm always going to. I do have a few. Don't get me wrong. I do have a few pairs of my own shoes, but I'm always like, you know, with the mules. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to make myself a pair of those in black soon. But your time just gets taken up with everything else, and then I'll be going out and I'll think, I never did make those shoes. I should have done it for this occasion. You know, I must find time more. So,
And it's so funny too when people think about, you know, like we have a lot of brides that do destination weddings and they get married on the beach and they say, you know, we're not going to wear shoes. And I say, well, you might not wear it for the ceremony, but you're coming into some other location. You definitely need to have special shoes. So
yeah.
you advise a lot of people on the terrain and what they're going to be walking on, or if they have a long train, making sure things are not getting
Yeah.
to them. So there's a lot of thought that has to go into it.
And do you think, you know, in the States, are most brides going for a more traditional type wedding, would you say, or is it a lot more destinational now and you know, beach and looking outside the box?
Yeah, I think now people are starving to travel again. They're just like they want to get out of the house and get out of their own town and move and celebrate with people in special places. I've always done destination weddings, so I of course normally only encounter those brides, but I've seen a lot of change where larger numbers of weddings are going away to different locations where it used to just be small groups. So I do feel like it's a special place, a special occasion location now, not so much, you know, staying in your hometown.
Yeah, same here really. I think as things have changed and freed up and you know people are able to do more, then you know it's the same really. I mean our final sort of lockdown laws finished last week, so really now you're pretty much free to do anything. And I think there'll be a lot of brides that have waited for that moment to think, right, okay, there's nothing to hold me back now. I can have the wedding I want, whether it's in this country or abroad. It doesn't really matter. It's just that freedom, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's been a long couple of years, so I know I'm ready.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
Well, I think that I'm going to have to put in my list to plan my trip and buy my first pair of shoes from you in person. We can wear little feathers when we go out for wine together.
That's great. Sounds lovely.
Well, thank you so much, Di. I love it. And everyone watching, we obviously want your wedding to go just as planned. And
absolutely.
we'll put all of Di's information up for you so you can find her again on Instagram. She has her website, and reach out to her and have some beautiful shoes made for your day.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. It's so nice to meet you as well. It's a shame it's not in person, but this is the next best thing. It's really lovely, you know, after sort of chatting and your lovely comments and things, which are so appreciated. And thank you for spreading the word. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And we'll see each other next in person.
Okay, lovely.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.